being able to hit for a lot of damage. And that's not even talking about any of his talents, you know, at all. You have that really big damage boost plus 40 damage at level 10, and it's just he turns into this really strong hybrid damage between magic damage and right click later on, where it's like, you know, he's dealing 200 250 damage or right click,
Yeah.
and it's just it gets insane. It's really hard to deal with him.
And that being said, though, on the side of Whiskey Business, we've got a Rubik who's going to be able to steal that ultimate from the Necro, as well as a silencer who's going to be able to just silence the whole team. So it's almost like they've already got the counters against it.
Yeah, I don't know if I agree with the Doom pick though. That's a little bit, you know, if they're that scared of the Necro right now, then it's a little too much, I think, because you know you already have a silencer to deal with the Necro if you really need it, and you already have a Rubik, you know, so that you only need to get the Necro really down to half HP to be able to kill him later on in the game. You know, if you're able to steal his ultimate, dish it back out to him. The Doom seems a little bit over the top, but Doom is Doom. You know, he just cancels a hero out of the fight, so it's a lot of things that he could go and counter against, but he's very straightforward too, you know, where it's like, you know, you're able to pick heroes now this early in the draft that'll kind of itemize around it. Like the VS right now, he goes and dooms one person or something like that. The VS just swaps them out of the fight and they walk off the doom and they're able to re-engage. It's just they can start really drafting against this. And
Yeah.
I don't know if I agree with it.
Yeah, it's probably a bit of overkill. They definitely didn't need it. It's going to be interesting to see what kind of position this Doom goes. I mean, he can farm extremely fast now, like faster than before, but it doesn't. I don't know how it's going to fit into this game. And we've got a fourth pick Sven now. What do you think of the Sven?
I think the Sven was necessary because they have Vengeful Spirit and Slardar. You know, because, you know, once Slardar hits level 6 and Vengeful Spirit, if she levels up, if she only keeps like 1 point in her stun and goes for more points in her Wail or Scream, then it's going to be a lot of negative armor. So the Sven's really necessary to keep people alive through that negative armor. I'm not sure exactly what heroes they're thinking of going for. You know, they already banned out the PA. That's what they're scared of. They're in the Storm, which makes a little bit of sense. They don't want to drop on top of them. But now we have a Viper out, and that's going to be really, really hard to deal with.
That's a disgusting pick. Nobody likes
Yeah.
playing against the Viper in any game,
And he's really good against Sven, and he's really good with negative armor.
yeah, this is going to be painful for anyone that's laning against Viper, let alone the rest of the game. And we'll have to see how it goes. They still haven't got a mid laner on the Radiant end, so I'm assuming Viper's going to be sitting mid.
Yeah, I would take the Viper mid and Necro safe lane. Then you can have the Venge and the Necro both dual laning top and leave the Slardar bottom, or you could try and dual lane bottom, but I would probably just leave the Slardar bottom and solo lane and tri lane top, or maybe dual lane top and have a roamer like a Mirana or something like that. That would be fine.
So we're definitely ruling out the fact that Vengeful Spirit could be played as a carry. We're not thinking that whatsoever here.
I wouldn't. The Necro really needs that farm to be able to stay effective in case the Sven does get online later, to be able to really nuke him down and have like high levels in that ultimate. You really want that farm on that Necro, and you really want that survivability on that Necro. And it'll work pretty well, because even though Necro doesn't really benefit a huge amount from negative armor, he does benefit some with that hybrid damage. So, you know, I really think that Necro being the safe lane core would probably be better for them than having the Vengeful farm right now. You also kind of don't want the Vengeful to have farm and to be initiating at the same time. And then if you have her not initiating because she is core, then you only have one real initiator with the Slardar. So it's kind of putting a lot of pressure on that Slardar, making sure that he does his job perfectly to be able to do that. But we'll have to see what their last pick is and see how it all ties together, because right now it's only a little bit up in the air. But I think that's what they're going to do. Take the Necro safe lane, Viper mid, play it by ear a little bit. If they need to swap, they need to swap. But that's what I would do, I think.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think what's going to go up against this Viper. And oh, there's a Drow as well, so they've got that range track going on. What do you reckon they're gonna choose against Viper mid? It's a pretty hard lane.
There are some really niche picks that you could do. Like, one of the ones actually I just thought of was Broodmother mid versus the Viper is actually really, really difficult for the Viper to deal with because you can't really kill off the spiderlings. And you have it's really hard to go on to the Broodmother when the spiderlings are hitting you and dealing all that physical damage. And then Razor's another one that deals with it pretty well too.
Well,
Because
there's our
you
answer.
drain off all the damage and drain off all the damage, and then guess what? The Viper doesn't really do anything if he has no damage.
Well, we'll have to see how this one goes. We'll wait it out till they get into the game. So it's going to be a Razor against the Viper mid. Sven safe lane, I'm assuming Doom off lane. And the Rubik and Silence are probably going to stick around with Sven. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I think that's about right. Because I think they have, if they stick to those lanes, they're going to have really good laning. The Doom, even though he's off lane, whatever he's against, he'll have okay farm because it's Doom. He'll get us farm anyways. And then the Razor should be able to do okay against the Viper mid and trade pretty well. And then the Sven, since he's in a tri-lane, should be able to get us farm online. But the real, I think it's easy for Whiskey to do what they need to do. But if Slarknado get even a little bit out of control, just a tiny amount, then I think that they could just snowball and the game would be over. It could be over so fast.
Yeah, that's definitely the case. It looks like Dire are going to go for an early game. We'll quickly go through the draft. We've got Aptic on the Silencer. We've got Dark Arbiter on Rubik. We've got Linsler on the Sven. We've got Chief Beef on the Doom, and we've got Forge on the Rubik. Do you want to go through the Dire?
Yeah, so we have on the Dire side we have Ninja Taiga. That's a pretty cute name. On the Drow, we have Outworld Traveler on the VS. Then we have Lucifer on the Slardar. On the Viper, we have the Real Ports. Okay, that's it, the Real Ports. And then for the Necro, we have 2 inside.
And look at this.
It looks like
they've already smoked up on the Radiant end, and it looks like they're going to go contest that top bounty rune.
And we only have 2 up here.
Yeah, so this could be pretty bad.
This is going to be 5. Yeah, they really... Yeah, if they land that stun, and then they can just follow it up... No, VS just saw him.
Yeah, Doom showed himself, so
the
they're not going
to
get
go.
the kill.
No.
But they'll get the bounty, at the very least.
Yeah. They'll get the bounty. Although, the thing is that the Dire did communicate. They're going to get 2 bounties either way still.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, because they went to the bot lane. So
yeah, they can just go and invade that since they 5-man stacked. If they left one person down there, then maybe they had a chance to take it. But since they didn't do that, then it was kind of they kind of just gave it up there.
Well, Rubik's already placed an aggressive ward there to keep vision on the Razor, especially for the static link. I think just to keep it going, not allowing it to break off. But they're going to leave him mid solo against the Viper. I suppose he should be okay. Looks like Doom's going to be jungling, actually. He's got the Iron Talon.
He might... Yeah, he has Iron Talon, so he's probably leaning towards jungling. But I don't think he's going to go full on jungle. I think he'll get some levels in the jungle, then soak some experience in lane, kind of just hop in between the two. That's what you usually want to do with Doom.
Yeah, and I think
because then you'll get both.
I think the bot lane's the one to watch though. We've got a tri lane against a dual lane, so Radiant they're going to be looking for some early kills here, and you can see the Dire. They've got to be pretty careful about this.
Yeah, I think the Radiant actually have pretty good kill potential in this lane. They have 2 stuns. They can just stack. They can just like chain stun on the Necro, and unless the starter follows up with a really nice crush, it's going to be pretty easy for them to get on top of them.
But this is interesting as well because they've put the Necro with Slarknado at the bot lane, so they're not really giving him the farm he requires, and they've let Drow go to the safe lane. So I'm not sure if there's any point in the Necro still being here. Like they're not going to get farm with this tri lane. There's no way.
Yeah, what they really need to do is just leave the Slardar down here, rotate the Necro top, and start stack pulling for the Necro. The Drow's not going to get harassed out of lane by a Doom. It's not going to happen. If it does, then something's terribly wrong, I think.
Yeah.
And mid lane, it looks like Razor is actually not trading very well with the Viper. Like, the Viper does get his damage trained over and over again, but he's getting some decent auto attacks off on the Razor. And once he starts getting higher levels of poison attack, it's actually going to be difficult for the Razor to stay in lane. He does still have one Tango left, but I mean, he doesn't have a bottle queued up for his next purchase, so we'll see what he does.
Yeah, it's going to be really hard because you can't even harass the Viper because of that corrosive skin. You're really just dealing damage to yourself. So it's going to be painful for him to lane. He's just going to have to sit there and try and farm as much as he can.
Yeah, you really don't want to trade with him until you hit this level 2 static link, which he did, but I think he tried to trade too early when he still had a level 1 static link, and so the Viper got too much damage off on him before the damage was negligible. And the Viper's sitting on still a full stack of tangos, so he's in a good spot. And it'll be pretty interesting how much farm the two of them get right now, but if we look at last hits, it looks like the Drow and the Sven have comparable last hits. Except looks like the Sven's been denying a lot more, just keeping that experience in favor of the Radiant on the bottom.
Yeah, so it looks like they're going to get like fairly even farm on both safe lanes, so that's not going to be the issue. At the end of the day, I do think the Radiant appears to have the stronger late game lineup if it does go there. It appears that the Dire have more of a kind of mid-orientated lineup.
Yeah, I agree.
So I don't think they really want to let it go too late. And once that Dro aura is online to max, I think that's when they're going to make their go. But yeah, so far I'm just this bot lane. I don't know about Necro sticking around. They're really getting not much XP. They're only level 3 at the moment.
Yeah, and you compare that to the Doom. The Doom's level 4, and I know it's a single hero, but he has these waves coming in under his power. And I mean, it's Doom. He's getting farm and he's getting solo experience out of this lane. He's going to get online. He's going to get some pretty good items, and he's going to turn into a nuisance once he gets tanky. He's going to be able to just run at people and kill them. And it's like the Razor zoning out the Viper again a little bit with that static link, and he's still able to last hit pretty well.
Yeah,
I mean, the Viper is able to still get farmed though. I mean, they're still comparable even in CS. And
oh, look at Chief Beef though. He's in trouble top. He actually gets away barely with his life.
Yeah, he has that unholy aura from the Satyr creep, so he's gonna be able to heal up fine between that and the shrine, I think. Oh, he doesn't use it. He wants to ping someone over to come and use it. He's trying to tell the Razor to come over, but Razor really needs to stay in this lane to keep that experience going, so I think he just should use this solo. Yeah, he does.
And they've actually drawn a line
solo
to the top lane.
Yeah.
So it looks like Rubik wants to make a play go on. There's actually a Viper ultimate though.
Yeah.
And looks like Razor, he'll get taken out. There's a bit of tower damage, and Silencer, he's trying to follow him. And Rubik, he's there as well, so he's got the lift available. We'll cancel the TP, throw him back down on the downhill. And this is Viper dead as well. I think it might be more worth it for the Viper, even though he got the kill and experience. He was way further, well, he was further ahead at the end of the day. Who do you think got the better trade out of that?
I would say the Viper for sure, because
yep.
he got a full half level above the Razor, and the only ones that got a golden experience out of that were the two supports, I think.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, the two supports. That was it. So it's not really. I mean, it's nice, and we have a smoking actually going on top.
VS has been lifted up. Now the slow from the Silencer, and looks like he's going to get taken down here. Chief Beef, he's still chasing, and he actually uses the Hadouken from the neutral creep, and he gets it. He takes him out. Yeah. With the Rubik, and looks like Necro tried to join in and help his buddy out, but he was a bit too late.
Yeah, things aren't going that well for the Dire right now. It's gonna. I mean, they're doing so well with this laning stage. It's actually really nice to see. The Radiant are doing like really what they need to do, just have solid laning stage, have some decent rotations. And it's turning out that it's working really well in their favor, because the Sven's getting farm bottom solo against the Slarknado, and the Drow's getting alright farm too. It's just, it's a Sven versus a Drow, And this Sven, all he has to do to really to be able to kill the Drow at all, or be able to counter at all, is get on top of her.
Chief Beef, he's in a bit of trouble. He's been stunned up, and the slow damage, I think he might go down here. He's still walking away and healing up, but he'll get taken out at the end of the day. And bot lane, they're actually drawing a line out. They've been smoked up. And Rubik and Silencer will make the walk down. There is a stun available on Sven as well. And I think bot lane, they might be in a bit of trouble. The stun gets thrown out onto Slarknado. And here comes Rubik looking for the lift. There's the heal from Necro, and the Ghost Shroud used as well, trying to slow them down. And Slarknado is actually going to be able to walk away from this, I think.
Unless he gets Mango and stuns.
Oh, he's walking. Oh no, the charges, the Arcane Curse still going. No, he gets the Shrine, so he's going to be okay.
He gets the Shrine off. Yeah.
Beautifully played, actually. I really didn't think he was going to survive there, but he managed to get away from it.
Just what a structure, Valve. what a structure. Like, that is literally at Slarknado when he went right next to it. He's like, wow, this is such a nice addition, Valve. I really appreciate you.
Whose idea was that?
Yeah, one of Slarknado's friends, apparently. That's who it was. Predicted the future.
Still though, they still are. Well, it's even kills, and Drow is at the top of the net worth, followed by Viper. So Dire isn't doing too bad. And if we look at the net worth graph, they've got about a 1k net worth lead. So they're still doing okay.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting, actually. I'm surprised that they are that far ahead.
Well, even the XP's okay ahead, and Lucifer, he goes in with a stun, and Sven, he's in a lot of trouble. The heal comes out from Necro, and they take him out, but now Slarknado, he'll get taken out for the trouble. No, he's actually juking at the moment, and he might get away. There's a beautiful stun, and he's got the double damage. He might take out Silencer. No, he doesn't get it, but still, now Rubik's in trouble because Ninja Tigger, he's joined in, and Silencer, he actually walks away with his life. No, he gets taken out, and Razor came in, but he's too late.
That is brutal. I mean, they had like a pretty good chance right there to get a kill off and get out of there, but once the Sven goes down and the Slarknado did some really nice juking and just set up the other 2 kills there, and just it was not worth the Radiant sticking around. They should have just cut their losses and left.
I'll tell you what, it was absolutely beautiful to watch that juke, and he dealt quite a bit of damage to that Silencer with the double damage, and
yeah, I mean, he got an extra 2 right clicks off, I think. And after he stunned him.
That's really a 3-for-1 trade, which, I mean, you can't complain with that on the Dire end.
Yeah.
And that's going to start cementing that mid-game orientated draft we're going to see. Because once they start getting these kills, along with the farm, I don't know how long the Radiant are going to be able to last in this game if they can't defend against a very strong mid-game lineup. And they're pinging out Lucifer. And I think Rubik, he's looking for the lift.
Yeah, they really want to try and go on the Slarknado instead of the Necro, I think, from now on, because the Necro has Ghost Shroud, and so, you know, he's able to just kind of mitigate any of that physical damage. And wow, that was a solo kill on the Razor from the Viper.
Yeah, I missed that one.
He must have gone on him when the static link was down.
Yeah, he pretty much just used the ultimate and just started right-clicking. Barely missed it. And now Arbiter, he's going in, but he's going to get stunned up. No, there's the lift just in time, but there's the Necro ultimate. And Drow's actually joined the fray as well. And Silencer, he's going to have to try and make a run for this. He actually gets away. They're going to turn their eyes onto Sven, who's running into the trees, but it looks like they want to go for a dive. No, they'll decide not to. Silencer, though, he's in a bit of trouble. Chief Beef, he's TP'd in. And Lucifer, he's going to walk away. There's the silence from the Dro. They rooted him in place for a second. Beautiful stun onto 3 heroes. Now Chief Beef is coming back in. And Forge, he's joined as well. He gets a static link off, but I think he might be too far, and now it's been broken. And the Dire, they'll just walk away, and they'll be okay with that. That's 1 kill down on the Silencer.
That stun was really nice, but he was on the other side of the trees, so he couldn't really go in on it with God's strength or anything like that. If those trees weren't there and he could just start going on them, turn on God's strength and go, that would have been such a nice follow-up.
Look at this. They're going to go into the Razor with the Viper, who was invis at the time, and I think Razor has no chance here, and he will get taken out. And this is one of those moments where they could probably just go for the tier 1.
Yeah, this is getting out of control now. Like I said before, once the draw gets out of control, with all this negative armor and everything, the mid game just turns into a nightmare for the Radiant.
Oh, the
We have
swap,
the swap going.
and the silence onto Rubik, and Rubik overextending a bit of bad positioning from himself. Wasn't expecting the swap, and unfortunately he loses his life for it. And they do take the tier 1, and they might even push for a tier 2 now because they know the Rubik. Well, he's going to respawn anyway, but regardless, they know they've got the advantage.
This Necro's building into a mech too. They're gonna have this mech pretty soon, I'd say within the next few minutes.
Yeah,
he's not that far off from it.
They're doing fairly well for themselves, and they will go for the tier 2. And look how fast this tower goes down. It stands absolutely no chance with this Drow aura.
Yep. This is really not good. What they need to do is if they're 5-manning like this, they need to try and get as much damage on these other towers as they can.
Oh, and they're smoked up.
They do not push as fast either.
They're smoked up in mid.
Run, Rubik!
They found the Rubik. There's the stun. There's a silence from Drow as well. And the slow arrows might be enough. No, they use the Necro ultimate. Just for good measure.
Yep, why not? Add a little bit more respawn time on top of that, just because.
My goodness, this Slarknado, apologies, Slarknado side is absolutely savage. And they're really using their draft effectively here.
Yep, they're just rotating around using that early mid-game pressure that they're able to do. And because they don't... like, what are they really scared of? Like, are they going to be scared of this Midas Doom? Or, I mean, we didn't even talk about that. The Doom that went for Midas on top of everything else that he could have gotten. And
what we have to note down as well is Silence is still not level 6 either, so he doesn't even have the Global Silence available to him at the moment.
This T2 is going to go down. They really need to stop this bleeding somehow. They need to be able to take team fights effectively. They need level 6 on the Silencer for 1. They need level 6 on the Rubik. And then start trying to take better fights where they're able to, you know, doom either the Necro or doom the Viper and then go in on them. But
look at this. They'll go for the Roshan now. With that Slider ultimate, with the Corrosive Haze, it just makes it so easy. And you've got the Vengeful Spirit aura as well as the Drow aura. And this Roshan absolutely stands no chance in surviving more than like 20 seconds. And he will get taken down. Aegis onto Drow. And this is just going to cement their push further. What's the win condition here for Whiskey Business? They need just 1 or 2 really good fights on the dire side of the river so that they can take towers at the same time. But right now, when they have Aegis up, they're going to probably have to stack, if not the T1, then the T1 and the T2, because I don't think that they can fight into it right now. There's no way that they can fight into the Aegis Jaw right now outside of high ground. And they're going to try that. They're going to go do... We still don't have level 6 on this Rubik, though. And we don't have level 6 on the Silencer. This is not the play. They need to go and get level 6 on these heroes first. This is not the play.
Yeah.
But hopefully, we might see a massive stun from the Sven. And I'm not sure if they're going to be able to follow up too well on it, but we'll see what happens. They're going to go for the behind. And this could be really bad for the Radiant, or it could be really great.
If they go on the Drow instantly, they're not going to.
They're going to go onto the Necro. They use the Doom. And Necro will go down. Lucifer gets a beautiful stun though. And Sven, he gets taken out straight away. Now the stun onto Lucifer. And Lucifer might lose his life as well. But Silencer gets taken out. It's a 4 for 2 at the moment. And I think Rubik has no chance by himself. And like you said, wasn't the play.
Yeah, which is really unfortunate. But they really needed... You know, if they were able to kill that Silencer and then, you know, top it off with a Silencer, or kill the Necro and then top it off with a Silencer ulti right there, then they might have been able to start, you know, chaining and killing, you know, the Viper or the other heroes. But they really needed to get maybe another hero down before they started getting whittled down.
Yeah.
You know, turn it into a 5v3 real fast and see what they can do.
Absolutely.
It's really hard to be able to go on these heroes when you have Drow Aegis, and Drow is the one you want to focus down because it gives so much damage to all these other heroes.
Yeah.
Just right click everyone else.
And they're actually just going to start pushing the tier 3 now. They've got no fear. It's 16 minutes in. All outer towers gone. These blokes, they have absolutely no fear here. They've got the Aegis still available, like you said. And I think they're not going to back off.
Yeah. Sven is pretty behind in farm too. He doesn't even have Echo Saber. He doesn't even have T2 boots.
But Global Silence
really
is now available.
Yeah, they do have Global, but they don't have Doom now.
Oh, they lift up the Drow, and the Silence used against him. The stun, it goes out only onto one hero, and Chief Beef, he's trying to go in. There's the Global Silence. Razor uses the area effect, and what a beautiful stun from Slarknado onto 3. He gets taken out. Now the Necro Ultimate onto Lucifer, and he gets taken out as well. And Rubik as well. That's a full team wipe.
Yeah, I think this just got a little bit too out of control for them to handle, and we have 4 buybacks. Okay, well, let's see what they can do.
You've got to respect that.
They have Doom in 15 seconds, but running at them when they don't have anything is not the way to do it. If they can catch them out again, but that 4 stuff, man.
Well, look, you've got to respect the heart this team has to keep going, and they haven't.
Yeah.
They buy back. They keep the melee racks at the very least, so they only lose a range. And they're gonna have to.
The real thing.
Yep.
The real thing that's holding the Slarknado together, though, is other than their normal, just awesome pushing, is the sustain that's coming out from this Necro is so strong, because while they're pushing, you know, they make those trades in those fights, and the Necro just sits there, has full mana because he just helped kill all these heroes and maybe ulted one of them, just starts spamming his Q out. Everyone else gets full HP. It's just like they came out, you know. And it kind of gets a little bit insane when you're just able to do that 2 or 3 times in a row. They just took 2 fights there when they're full HP with Aegis after fights. It's just like, it's really difficult to be able to deal with that. I think what they need to do, if they really want to win this game, what they need to do is kill this Necro and kill the Viper if they take another fight before Aegis is down. Or before Aegis is down, yeah. Because if they do that, then maybe then they can focus down the Drow after that. But they have to kill the other damage dealers. They have to kill that Necro to be able to kill the Viper. And the Necro gone means a lot of the survivability is going to be gone from Slarknado. And then maybe they're able to do something. It's just really hard. This is a really difficult game for them right now.
Yeah, and there's the Aegis. Now the Aegis is gone. I've got to say, like you said, the Necro with the sustain, the mech, he just keeps his team healed up. And you've got Lucifer, who picked up such a fast Blink Dagger. He's actually a couple 100 gold away from the 4-staff now. And I don't know if you've had a cheeky look at the net worth graph at the moment, but it's almost 20k in the way of the Dire. XP graph almost 10k. So you can really see what kind of lead this team has. And they're giving the Radiant a bit of space. So Whiskey Business, they're trying to get as much farm as they can in this time. But it is very hard because they can't even leave their base.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, your best friend is going to be Smokes. Try to get out there and get pick-offs if they're by themselves. Or at least try and get wards out so that you can, you know, go and smoke and get picks. But you know, Slarknado's playing really well. They're sticking together. They're just 5-manning. They know that they have their advantage right now. The only way that they can really get behind is if they start getting picked off or split. So the other thing that the Radiant could try and do is try and split push them a little bit, but they don't really have a really good split pusher. Sven's probably the best one that they have because he's able to clear creep waves so effectively. And then, you know, if he needs to God Strength down a tower or something like that. But you really want to save that for fights. So it comes down to, against a strat where they're just pushing like this, you really need to either A, go and take a fight that is not on their terms, like get a good pick and then fight them, or B, you need to try and split them and kind of push them back onto their side of the map to try and gank whoever's split pushing.
Yeah,
because if you're not able to do that, they're going to keep staying on your side of the map, you're going to get less and less farm, and you're going to keep falling behind and not able to do anything.
Yeah, and I thought they were about to go for the tier 3 just then. But actually, Viper, he TP's back to the top lane, so the real ports, he's not interested. And they're going to give some more space. I'm not sure if this is what they should be doing. Because they've definitely got a massive advantage, and they should know it by this point. So, I'm not sure if they should be backing off, but they seem to be a bit hesitant to go for the tier 3 at bot. And this might give Radiant enough space. They've actually picked up a smoke, I think. Yeah, they have. And they might go for a play now, like you were saying.
Yeah, they're a little split up. The problem is that they have to go instantly to like where the enemy is. They have to know exactly where they are, and they have no vision right now. There's no wards out on the map for Radiant at all, from what I can see. It's all dire vision right now. And so they might think that they're still on their side of the river, but in reality, they are not. They are clear on the other side. They gotta go because the smoke is almost up. It's only a quarter duration left. And I think it's going to run out before they're able to find someone.
You'd be
Unless
right.
this VS takes the wrong path.
Yeah,
This
which
VS
he
might
might.
take the wrong path.
Yeah, it looks like he actually might. He's looking at that haste rune, and now he sees them come out of the smoke. He should have seen the plasma field come out, and I think he won't go for it. Oh, there's going to be a lift from the Rubik. He picks up the haste. Now he's stunned up. Ninja Tigger, sorry. He actually gets the kill now. Lucifer, he jumps in, gets the stun. Sven, he's in a lot of trouble. He's been silenced up as well. And there's no global silence from the silencer quite yet. Now it's used, but Sven's dead. Now, Razor's actually dead as well, and silencer goes down afterwards. So, only one left is Doom, who could actually die here if he's not careful. He's in the trees and he'll be okay, but there's no buybacks available here. So it's definitely going to be at least 1 Rax, maybe even 2.
I think it'll probably be 2 at least, unless they just take this Rax and go for Throne. I could honestly try and do that. They have so many creeps in this top lane, but they're just going to play it safe. They're going to just take the towers.
Well, they could force another team fight in the base, and if they win that, then they clearly can just go for the Ancient. We'll see what they choose to do. Some of it, yeah, they're going for the tier 3 bot. Oh, and there's going to be a big play here. There's the plasma field coming out, and then the Necro, it's been doomed up, and Dro, he's been lifted, but what a beautiful stun from Lucifer onto 3, and he's copping a lot of damage, but I think he'll be okay. No, he'll get taken out. Now Sven uses God's Strength, goes onto the Drow. Now the Necro, they take out the Necro. That's a double kill for the Sven, and now VS trying to run away. Viper slowing him down, and they're sticking around. There's a stun onto VS. They're going to try and lift him up soon. No, the stun stolen onto the Rubik. What a beautiful silence from Ninja Tigger, though. And Sven, it looks like he'll get taken out. No, the miss is uphill. And they don't keep continuing to go for him. They'll let him go. And my goodness, what just happened?
Yeah, I mean, that Doom onto the Necro was actually really nice for them because, you know, no turnaround, Scythe, no sustain, no ghost form to be able to mess with Sven's right clicks or anyone else. I mean, that Necro just blew up, and after that, everyone just started melting. They actually could have gotten this Drow if that Doom would have stayed on top of her a little bit through that BKB, but he started kind of running away from her a little bit, so she was able to get more damage out. But if that Doom, I think, would have had a little bit more patience through that BKB and sat on top of her, keep reducing her damage, she wouldn't have really been able to do anything. She already had her silence out. It was on cooldown. But, you know, she didn't have Aegis, so looks like they're going to go for Roshan, though. They want to end this game, get another Aegis onto the Drow so that they don't have to worry about any kind of positioning shenanigans like they just had to.
Yep, that'll be the second Aegis of the game. And they're drawing the line out at the bot lane to try and push it. They're drawing the line to push that lane out. They're all going down. And this is definitely going to be their attempt at the final push. We'll see if Whiskey Business can hold on. At the very least, if they can't, they've still got a second game to go. But hopefully they can hold on and push this game a bit further. We'll have to wait and see. What do you reckon? So you're thinking to yourself, Doom the Necro, get him out of there, and take out the Drow Ranger.
Yeah, they need to Doom the Necro, and then they need to use their stuns and their lockdown on other people. Because what they're kind of doing is they're using the Doom on the Necro and then following it up with like a Sven stun and killing them. The reason Doom is such a strong ability is you can Doom that person and they only have spells to lean back on. Therefore, you can ignore them for like the rest of the fight until Doom is off, and then you can focus them down with CC. What they really need to do is lock down another person after they Doom the Necro, kill that person, and then follow it up with killing the Necro afterwards. You already know the Necro's out of the fight because he's already doomed, so kill someone else. Kill the Drow, kill the Viper, kill the Slarknado, kill someone. But just don't stack all your damage, your initiation damage, on top of that Necro. Just Doom the Necro, ignore him after that, and kill everyone else. Because there's no way that Necro's able to do anything for 15 seconds after he gets Gem. There's nothing he can do.
And I was going to say, I just saw Drow hit the Sven, and they're actually going to go in. The BKB is used, and the lift up onto the onto the creep, and he'll keep attacking with the God Strength, but he's very low HP, and there's a Doom onto the Necro, and Necro, he's just going to walk it off. And Razor, he'll get taken out as well now. Silencer being chased up. They also take up the Rubik. There's 2 buybacks. So Razor and Sven, they've joined back in. Slarknado, he's going to be the target. And Lucifer, he's dealing so much damage back though. And Drow in the back lines, he takes out the Sven a second time. And Razor will get taken out. And they call GG well played. It was way too much for them. And they've got Mega Creeps anyway. So I suppose the game was over.
That was a really, really nice game by Slarknado. They didn't make a huge amount of mistakes, anything like that. I think the only real thing was that fight on the bottom T3 before the final push, and that was pretty much it. Other than that, it was a really, really nice game from them. I didn't see a lot of mistakes. It was very nice to watch.
Yeah, it was an excellent game. We'll come back for game 2, which should be up in just a moment. It should be a couple minutes. We'll be back with you.